from India and abroad who have come forward to present their research work in their international conference. My best wishes for the success of the great event of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. And I could see here gracing as a president and presiding this event and delivering your address. And there is a network issue. Bear with us, people from abroad. And there is a thunderstorm in India last night. And there is an issue here. So we are trying to connect us, do our best possible here. And we have got, now we are getting into our special event, and our chief guest, Madam Thenmozhil, is here. She's going to deliver an inaugural chief guest address now. Madam, it's over to you.
So good morning, and I think it's my pleasure to take part in this particular conference. And I'm very happy that the Adithya School of Business Management has taken up an initiative to organize a conference, and the title is Innovation, Technology and Management, an integrated approach to sustainable future. And I'm also happy that they've also made effort to collaborate with other institutions also from abroad and organizing the conference. I'm happy that a lot of papers have also come in for presentation and discussion during the conference here. Broadly, I thought I can just highlight some of the major things that are happening in this particular area in the recent times. I think both innovation and technology is something is very crucial for any industry. And that being the case, I thought I'll just focus on one particular aspect, though I'm not a specialist in all aspects of business, but in terms of finance. So I thought I'll just focus on the area of fintech and how it's having an impact. And also try to bring out some issues for research in this particular area that can also be taken up for discussion or also for research in future. I think all of us know that when it comes to fintech, financial technology, more commonly known as fintech, it's actually led to a lot of new technology which is being used to automate the delivery of financial services. What I find in recent times is banking and financial services sector has transformed because of the developments in technology. I think that is something which I think all of us have been seeing even when we are interacting with the banks for our personal purposes as well as for the corporate purposes also. And what are the things that are happening is, I think one major thing is the new technology transforming the old ideas for the retail investor. I think nowadays we can just operate our accounts from home, and also sometimes we will not even take cash and we can just transfer cash because of the new payment systems that are there. Another important thing which is bringing in the major change is blockchain technology, and also the back office technology services that is being done by the various institutions here again. So these are three major areas where I find that fintech is having an impact here. And how is this possible? I think this has been possible probably because of the developments in artificial intelligence and machine learning tools. So these developments in AI and ML has brought in a lot of transformation in the way the various activities are being done. For example, if the way sometimes the insurance service provider or a mutual fund investment advisor comes and interacts with the investors, I think has undergone a change because of AI and machine learning. Even if you look at in terms of any banking services, nowadays you find that the way they approach currently and what they were doing about 5 or 10 years back has undergone a lot of transformation here again. Why this has happened is basically because of the technological revolution. Currently, we are in the brink of the 4th industrial revolution here, which is trying to bring in so much of change in the way the economy, the society, and the financial systems are going to work here. And I think it's important that we have to understand in terms of what is the implication of this revolution and its impact on every business also. Artificial intelligence, neural networks, deep learning, 3D, are all some of the, I think you can see that the developed outcome of the fourth industrial revolution here. And nowadays we have autonomous vehicles, automated cars and vehicles are there, 3D printing and fintech and blockchains are some of the various things that are bringing in change in the way things are happening in the business sector. And as well as in our personal life also, and the society also. And what is more important that I thought we should also remember is the changes that are happening. Earlier, it was, if we bring in a small innovation or technological change, the impact can be seen after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But nowadays, it's very fast. And the innovation that happens is also going on, undergoing a lot of change very quickly also. So there's an exponential increase in the size and as well as the significance of the technological innovations here. And another important thing is it is having an impact on the human society and as well as the financial sector also. I think that's something which all of us are actually experiencing also. As a retail customer of banks, I think every one of us must be experiencing the impact of technology in the services there. IoT, IoT, artificial intelligence and blockchain have also brought in a lot of change in the way the various monetary policies, the financial regulations have all been brought in. Because the type of policy framework and guidelines that were there has also undergone a change because of these developments here. Just to give you some examples, I thought to look at in terms of how fintech is having an impact here. Basically, I see that it's using the use of technology to improve the activities in the financial and services sector, banking and financial service sector. And it redefines the way various things are being done. What is the thing? Maybe I'll say that the way you store data, the way you save data, the way you borrow money, the way you invest, the way you try to transfer money or spend money or protect money, all these things have undergone a transformation because of the fintech. For example, nowadays, I think most of us just use, it's enough, even you not even take cash with you. If you have your smartphone, so I think it's enough for you to transfer the money or even enter into different types of transactions. Another emerging thing is the cryptocurrency. There it is also trying to bring in a lot of changes, the way we are going to do activities also here. Who are the players involved in this use of fintech? I think I would say now in recent times, a lot of startups are there. Apart from startups, established financial institutions, technology companies, and they are all trying to replace and try to see in terms of how the financial services can be utilized by the existing companies themselves here. Fintech is not something new. It has evolved over a period of time. And I would say that major changes come after the financial crisis, where I would say it is combined several things together to bring in the transformation, e-finance, internet technologies, social networking services, social media, AI, and big data analytics. All these things have brought in a big change here again. And if you look at the amount of investment that has been made in this sector, it's quite huge. I think it must be much more than this, also about $50 billion have been invested here. And there are more than about 2,500 fintech companies since 2010. I think so in the last decade, what we find out is several companies have emerged. And if you see that not only in India, but also particularly I would say that a lot of companies, China and USA are the hub of fintech startups and companies initially, but now India is also emerged in terms of having active fintech markets. I think nowadays we want, instead of, particularly after the Ukraine-Russian war, I think we are trying to come up with mechanisms by which all the transactions can happen within India rather than the transactions moving outside the country. And one more important change that we can also observe is that the fintech is also trying to enable financial inclusion and also trying to promote the various digital India initiatives also here. Some applications I thought just to give a sense of how this fintech is bringing in the changes. I think the way lending is happening is undergone a lot of change. It's not that you have to go to your bank and then borrow money or go to a money lender and borrow money, but here it is something like a peer-to-peer lending. So anybody can, an online platform, one can even try to avail the loan and then discuss the terms, finalize them, and then get the money, and which is something which is very popular nowadays for the purpose of raising funds here. Another important thing is crowdfunding. I think it's been existing for quite some time now, and it is a very important tool simply because here the lender can contribute in a small way also. It's not necessary that they have to have huge funds. Depending on the availability of funds, they can try to contribute towards the purpose or the activity in small, different levels also. It can be high or small or low also. So crowdfunding has also enabled to bring in people from various places to provide the funds for the purpose of developmental activities here. And another important change that is happening is the mobile payment apps, which is also trying to bring in the way in which mobile payments are happening. And now I find that even in rural areas, even all small sellers, everybody is very comfortable using the mobile payment app for making the payments here again. And another thing is, in the case of foreign exchange, we find that fintech is having a big impact, where the dealing desk is trying to make use of these technology services and then trying to provide some prompt quotes, and then even transactions are happening much more effectively. And in the case of stock trading platforms are also there, where we find this automated trading is happening. Algo trading is also there, where both retail and institutional investors can operate and then try to generate some good income or return by way of operating in this automated trading platforms. So fintech is having an impact, provides a huge variety of different types of financial services, and they may bring change in the way in which services are being offered. If you look at the growth of fintech systems, I think there are several fintech startups are there, and the government is also trying to provide more funds. And what we find is that come to fintech, there are a lot of several new entrepreneurialism is something is more prevalent than the existing companies that are entering into the fintech sector. But of course, this is also tells us that there are a lot of challenges. We have to wait and see how many of them will survive and continue, and how many of them are going to be successful here. And we also see that because of this, the way in which the policies and the governance, everything has to be matched. And the innovation is also very fast. We find that every now and then we find a lot of new changes are happening. By the time we get adapted to one innovation, and something a new one is also emerging here again. So it is also very important that we need to take care of how do we try to protect those who are actually making use of the fintech-based services there. One example I thought I'll give before I close my talk. I thought, see, for example, in recent times, I found that fintech is becoming a very big, bringing change in the way the wealth management business model operates here again. So nowadays, it says that it's not that an individual need to go and approach a customer and find out whether they want to make an investment. Nowadays, they're using a robo-advisor or automated wealth manager model. So robo-advisors basically can be both fully automated or advisor assisted. Two things are existing. Where you find one is something where you can always interact with the robo-advisors and then decide in terms of where you want to make investments and how much you want to make investments, come up with, finalize your terms, everything individually. But of course, in India, we have many investors who are not that very comfortable with this. So we have the advisor-assisted digital wealth manager robo-advisory model also here. So from traditional individuals' approach to selling the services, I think we are moving more towards this type of automated systems also here. So this will have a big impact on the way the businesses and the transactions are being done there. So I thought I'll just conclude my part by just highlighting how this developments in fintech is also enabling us to look at in terms of the areas where we can look at research. I think there are some papers related to this also in the conference. One is how this fintech has reshaped or disrupted the banking and the payment systems here. I think this is a good area for you to look at in terms of how this has affected the banking and payment system. Another thing also is how fintech has altered the financing through new norms of lending, come up with new norms of lending, and as well as crowdfunding also. So earlier, it was something like where you go to the bank and then try to avail the loans. But then now the fintech has brought in a lot of changes in that. So we can also see how it's having an impact. The developments in AI and machine learning, it has also impacted the way investing is happening, way insurance services are being provided. I think nowadays where I want to have a policy, just also I can just go to the net and then try to take the policy. In about 15 minutes, I have the policy copy in my hand. So things have already changed the way the services are being offered now. So how these advances have impacted these investing and insurance services through data-driven methods. One more important thing which I see is blockchain is also something which is having a big impact. How blockchain is been adopted in financial services, and how this is also having an impact on the monetary policy. I think one can look at that also. Of course, we are also waiting for the Reserve Bank of India digital currency related announcements. So we can also look at how the cryptocurrency and the central bank digital currency is going to have an impact on the future of money. And most important thing is developments in fintech is also bringing in a big challenge for the regulations also. So how regulations will define the future of fintech. I thought these are some emerging areas which I thought some of you can think upon and also deliberate during the discussions in the conference here. So I think there's a big long way forward of innovation and technology in banking and financial services. And fintech is going to bring a change. We will have a major change in the way the services are being offered here. And of course, regulators, not only Reserve Bank of India, even SEBI is also trying to proactively come up with regulations which will guide the industry, and also in the process ensure that the people who are the users of the system are being protected, also are taken care of here again. And we also see that a lot of new fintech tools are still emerging again. And I'm sure that in another 5 years, we'll see a lot of new fintech-based applications in various segments here again. So I wish that the conference great success and have more deliberations on these specs. And I hope that all of you will have a very fruitful interactions to this particular conference here. And I thank the organizers for inviting me to share my views in the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for your insights on the fintech area, which is your specialized part. You have done a lot of research, and also for us to take it forward besides this conference to work on the areas